Okay, welcome back to another vid, my first of 2016, so Happy New Year. I think after this vid I'm going to make a football vid, I'll make a gaming vid, so I think I'll also start those by saying Happy New Year. So if you watch all my vids, or some of them, then you're going to hear me saying Happy New Year a lot over the course of the next few videos. So, but yeah, let's make it a really good one. You know, I know I'm going to, so you do as well. Let's all be, you know, safe, happy, healthy, and let's just go on and go on to great things and, you know, achieve as much as we can. That's what it's all about, isn't it? So, after that little bit of preaching, let's move on to the records. So I picked up 6 quite recently, 6 pretty good ones. With that said, there's a couple that I've not really listened to in depth yet, but I've obviously put them on a little bit. I knew a little bit about them, enough to want to buy the records. So, well yeah, and as ever, what I'm going to do in the description box, I'll put a link to maybe, not necessarily my favourite song, but maybe one of the songs which I think may be instantly kind of accessible to someone if you've never heard them before. So, yeah, if you like them, then YouTube more songs and then go out and buy the records. Why not? Or download it. Do what you want. Doesn't matter. So the first band, this is arguably, and I'm probably just saying this because I'm listening to this a lot right now. It came out last year, but it's arguably my favourite release of last year. Now, I know, you know, a few months, years from now, I'll probably go back on that, and I was probably just getting carried away with the fact that I'm listening to it a lot. But it is a really good album, and it's a band called Real Lies, and the album is called Real Life. Now, this is their debut album. I say 3. I've seen a video where there's like a girl drummer, so maybe there's like a casual kind of 4th member, I'm not sure, but there's definitely 3 lads in the band. That is not them on the front. They're not that young. They're probably in that kind of early to mid-20s, give or take. But yeah, they're a band from London. Now, think of, and what's it actually? No, yeah, I'd say think of like New Order meet the Pet Shop Boys with a bit of Mike Skinner from the Streets. Now, I kind of stole that Mike Skinner reference from their Wikipedia page, but when I read it, I thought, yeah, that's actually not a bad reference. But definitely, my first thoughts were New Order, Pet Shop Boys. As soon as I heard a song in particular, and that song is called Seven Sisters. Now, that is what made me buy this record, but it's kind of cheesy in a way. It's a cheesy song, but I like it. I really like it. And when I heard it, it instantly reminded me of something like from the late 80s, the very early 90s perhaps, but certainly late 80s, like think of like a Stock Aitken and Waterman kind of thing. And that may put a lot of people off straight away, that kind of cheesy kind of sound, kind of like a Madonna kind of get into the groove, you know, Justify My Love kind of thing. But honestly, I first heard it, I thought it was brilliant. It was like a throwback to the late 80s, yet it sounds modern as well. So that's probably going to be the song that I'm going to put in the description box. But if you like it, or do you know what, even if you don't like it, I strongly encourage you to check out all the songs that will be probably recommended on the right-hand side. You know, we like play a video, and there's all the other songs recommended, because it's a really kind of eclectic album. I mean, predominantly, of course, it's, well, not predominantly, it is just a dance electropop kind of album. But if you like that kind of thing, I think you'll really, really like it. So, as I always say, apologies for the glare. I'm really going to have to get this fixed for this year, I guess. Maybe just change the camera angle around. I'll probably do something like that. So yeah, Real Lies, and the album is called Real Life. Came out last year, band from London. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really like it. Now, this is one of the albums that I've not listened a great deal to. It's by a guy, striking album cover, a guy called Miguel, or Miguel. No, just Miguel, I think. And he's from America. Now, think of R&B, a bit of kind of soul in there, that kind of music. Now, I was listening to a podcast called The Rider. It's based in Liverpool, and it's a music podcast. They also branch off and do football stuff and all sorts of other things for that matter. But every week they have one called The Rider with some really good songs in there, so I definitely recommend you checking that podcast out. I'll put a link to that podcast. If you're into podcasts, you may want to give it a listen. And I heard a song called The Valley, and it's a really good song, but when I heard it, I thought, man alive, that is dangerously close to the knuckle, some of the lyrics that it uses. I'll link it, and you'll hear what I mean straight away. So if you like that kind of, you know, chilled out kind of music, like I say, with R&B, and what else would you say? Kind of like, I don't know how else you'd say. Funk, maybe? Yeah, R&B, funk, pop, elements of pop, bit of soul music. If you like that, you're probably going to like this. So check it out. That is Miguel, and the album is called Wild Heart. Ridiculous that I even forgot. And that's just come out as well. It's a pretty new release. The next one up is, now, I tell you what, if you want to buy this album, you may struggle, you may not, because it's a little-known band, at least so far, to my knowledge, called the Shivaree Shakes. And I can't even remember how I heard them. I either heard them on a podcast or I heard them on a YouTube vid, or maybe it's recommended. I genuinely can't remember. But I went online. My first port of call is usually Amazon. Couldn't see it on there. Couldn't see anything by them on there. Went on eBay, nothing on there that I could see. And they didn't appear to have, like, at the time of looking anyway, an official website. It was, like, set up through Facebook. So it must be, like, a really small band. Apologies if I'm doing them a disservice, but a smallish band at the moment anyway. Maybe just starting out. And this record, I bought online for $10, including shipping. But the interesting thing about it, I've since heard that it's a limited edition of 500 clear vinyl. So only 500 made. So maybe they may do, a fresh print run in the future. But if you want to get this straight away, now, it may be difficult for you to find. The song that I first heard is called Take It Back. You're probably thinking, what kind of music do they play? It would help if I told you. It's kind of like surf pop. That's the best description I can think of. Kind of jangly guitars. I don't think it's going to win any awards, but it's pretty decent, pretty fun. Puts a smile on your face. The first song that I heard was called Take It Back. Now, they haven't got an official video to that song, so I don't know if I'm going to link Take It Back or maybe, I don't know, one of the official videos I've done, or I may do both, whatever. You'll soon see what I put, soon see, I should say, what I'm going to put in this description box. But yeah, it's a decent album. I don't think they're going to get anywhere major, but you never know. Who knows? If you like kind of cheap, disposable, that sounds really offensive, I don't mean it that way, but disposable pop, you may like that. Now, 3 left. The first one up is by Johnny Marr. This is Johnny Marr from the Smiths, of course, and Modest Mouse, other stuff. This is Johnny Marr's second solo album. The guy's 52. I mean, he looks pretty good for 52. And his first solo album came out a couple of years ago, so this is only his second full solo record. And it's really, really good. My favourite track is the lead single from it. It's called Easy Money. Again, just like the next artist, really, and you could say the one after that I'm going to show you. What you hear is what you expect. It doesn't really branch too far away from that kind of indie pop, indie rock music. But I think that's a good thing. And if you like the Smiths, then I think you'll naturally kind of gravitate towards this. So this is called Playland, Johnny Marr. It's his second solo album. This came out, I believe, last year. I think, 2015. Yeah, last year. Now, speaking of Johnny Marr, we've got Morrissey. This is an album which came out in 2014. World Peace is None of Your Business, which is also one of the singles as well, and a really good song. Now, I think I've told this story before. It's not much of one, but just get ready, get yourself a cup of tea, like I've got, and I'll tell you this little story. Right, so Morrissey was in a band with my uncle's cousin, right? But my uncle's cousin, it's not even a blood relative, this is how ridiculous it is, but my uncle's cousin was in Primal Scream. He was the drummer in Primal Scream from around about 88 up until like the mid-90s. And then just went and became session musician, all that kind of stuff. And still doing that now. And he's from Manchester, he's from Withamshire in Manchester. And along with, I forgot the guy's name, what do you call him? The guy from the band The Cult. The song She Sells Sanctuary. Classic song, if you hear it, you'll know it. You'll definitely know it. Well, him, whatever his name is, which I've forgotten, the guitarist, and my uncle's cousin, all from Withamshire in Manchester, they formed a band called the Nosebleeds, a punk band. Of course it's a punk band called the Nosebleeds, in the late 70s. And they had this singer, it wasn't very good, and they got rid of him, and they basically hired Morrissey. Now, I don't think they recorded anything with him, but he definitely joined the band. There's photos of him. He's mentioned it before. I don't think it's one of his most famous things to be proud of. But yeah, Morrissey was in a band with my uncle's cousin. So it's kind of a relative, but it isn't. But, I bring that line out at parties and people, initially they're all impressed. They're like, bloody hell, but you're related to Morrissey. And then I'm like, well, not really. And then when they think about it, uncle's cousin, so you're not related then? No, I'm not. But it's a good story. It's the next best thing, put it that way. So and that album's really good, by the way. But again, typical Morrissey. If you like his previous stuff, you're going to like that. A great lyricist, pretty politically incorrect at times or politically correct at times, I guess. It depends. Just very political anyway, put it that way. And yeah, brilliant album, great artist. And last but not least is another great artist, one who've been around for a long, long time. I think this is their 14th studio album. It's Duran Duran, it's Paper Gods, and it's an absolutely outstanding album. Absolutely outstanding. If you love, obviously, kind of like, you know, electronic music, pop, a bit of funk again in there, new wave, then this is going to be your bag. I can't remember what the track list is because it's one of these albums that doesn't have it on. But you know what? I'm going to have a look. I'm going to actually have a look on here because there's some really good songs that I've definitely got to recommend that you check out. So, yeah, I first heard this going back... When did it came out in September. September the 11th of all dates to come out. Here we go, I've got the track list in front of me. And pretty much every one of them, in my opinion, is really strong. So you've got Paper Gods, which is the, like I say, the album title, but it's a leading single as well. Last Night in the City is fantastic. You Kill Me with Silence, Pressure Off. Honestly, I could go down the entire set list, the checklist, the track list, third time lucky. And each song is really, really good. It's probably, in my opinion, their strongest album, potentially ever. But certainly in the last sort of 10, 15 years. It's absolutely brilliant. So I'll put a few links. Well, I'll put one link, actually. I'm not going to get too carried away. I'll put a link to one of those songs, and you've got to check it out if you're a fan of Duran Duran. And that's the thing with that band, with me, is they kind of naturally evolve. They sound relevant. They, you know, with their music, when you listen to the album, they're harking back to the past, but also they're very kind of prevalent in the future as well. You know, and in the present and in the future. If you can get in the future. I don't know. They're definitely in the present anyway. So check it out. Really, really good album. That's Paper Gods by Duran Duran. And in fact, every album, really pleased to get. I really do want to listen a lot more to each one of them, particularly that kind of Miguel, which is really interesting, Wild Heart. And, but yeah, Real Lies is probably my favourite pick of the bunch out of all those. So there you go. Can't really see a lot there, especially when they're all in these little kind of slip covers. But that's my latest vinyl pickup. I have bought a few more recently. I'm waiting for a couple more to arrive. Should maybe be next week, the week after. But by the end of the month, I'll have another vinyl vid. So until then, check the links out below because you may discover a really good band or an artist that you've maybe forgotten about or never listened to before, never heard of before. And you may go out, like I say, and download or buy their stuff. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.